It would seem as though, unless there is somebody really laying in the weeds, it's Jets or you don't earn your cash for Mr. Rodgers. Number 2, so he could be weighing retirement. Number 2, it is possible he is right now trying to court other free agents and land some package deals. Maybe there's offensive linemen out there. Maybe there's wide receivers out there. Maybe there's guys that he has called up or texted and said, hey, if I go to the Jets, will you come with me? And if he gets a yes, then he's on his way. And if he gets no's all over the place, maybe he gets cold feet. That's something that's being bantered about, that he's currently right now working on other free agents to come with him to the Jets. Or number 3, door C, which is he just really likes the attention. And he really just likes having everybody at his beck and call. And I wouldn't put that past him. Does he have a grand proclamation ready to go on a Tuesday for the Pat McAfee show? Maybe. Does he have a grand proclamation done via social media, timed out at the perfect moment to get viral traction? Maybe. Does he have an announcement coming at the end of the week to really string this thing out and squeeze everybody to death on it? Maybe. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But undoubtedly, all parties are ready to do this. It just takes Rodgers to say yes. And it's very on brand for Rodgers to hold up all of the works. And I've said this a million times, so I won't beat it too hard into the dirt, but I don't think it's a good deal for the Jets. But they've let every other option go by the wayside. For these very reasons, the Packers have decided we don't want to be in the Aaron Rodgers business anymore. 1 year ago, they did. They signed him to this big contract, big extension. They had bent over backwards. He had won the war over Brian Gutekunst. And yet 1 year later, without knowing anything about Jordan Love in real regular season action, the Packers are saying, that's it. Now, this is an all-time legend. This is one of the great quarterbacks ever. This is a guy that has won a Super Bowl for them and very recently been a 1 seed and an MVP of the NFL. And yet the Packers are very open to admitting we're moving on. And I think that they've tried to be diplomatic about it early, knowing they didn't want to push him out the door publicly, knowing that he would bristle at that or that might blow up in their faces. But the longer this has gone on, the more forceful the messaging has become out of Lambeau. And that is, we've moved on. He's welcome back. We'll retire his number. He'll always be a hero here. But we've moved on. So that's a red flag. Number 2. No other team flew a jet with their owner that we know of out to California to romance, wine and dine Aaron Rodgers. Again, is it possible there's a dark horse team out there that swoops in and grabs him? I'm not going to totally rule that out. But in terms of overt, opulent, hey, look at us, the Jets went above and beyond. Nobody else did. Might there be a reason for that? The Dolphins didn't get into the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. The Niners didn't get into the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. Those are good teams, playoff teams. Those are Super Bowl contenders potentially. That's a red flag. That only the Jets were willing to say, yes, we'll go all in for this guy. And we want to let you know how all in we are. 30 other teams could have done the same thing. And number 3, if Rodgers plays and we're seeing this, I don't know, I've got to think about it, I need darkness, I mean, again, he has spent multiple podcasts, multiple hours of podcasts explaining his decision-making process without coming to a decision. That there will always be this, how long does he want to do it? How unpredictable is the decision-making process? How committed is he? And so if you get him, you have to worry about A, will he come back for year number 2, or is this just a 1-year deal? B, is he all in for at least the 1 year? Or does he get apathetic midway through a season because it's not what he thought? Or he hadn't predicted this, that, or the other thing? Or, you know what, his heart wasn't really in it. I mean, that's also part of, I think, the hesitancy for the Packers or other teams besides the Jets to want to give him what he wants. Not to mention, that's the third red flag. The fourth red flag is the guy has proven to want influence and control, but not take a leadership position the way traditional leadership has been viewed in the NFL. I phrase it that way because I am absolutely flexible enough to say maybe the way that leadership has always been shown isn't the way that it has to be. Okay? So maybe the way he's doing it is just fine, or the new way to do it. But you don't usually see a guy who puts a gun to the head of the front office and holds them over a barrel to get his money, his influence, his vision, his platform, his say, what have you, and then point the finger. He has said the coaches need a different scheme. We need to loosen things up. We need to simplify the offense. Remember? And there was Matt LaFleur going, I don't even know what that means, simplify the offense. What did that mean? You have Aaron Rodgers saying, if that guy can't do it, he shouldn't start. If that guy can't do it, he shouldn't play. Calling out what his front office should do. You have a guy that didn't show up to OTAs, didn't show up to mini camps to work with young guys, didn't invite them over to his house to work out with him. And these are things that you would want for his next home. Another red flag. All of these things, to me, point to don't get into bed with this guy. Don't get into a relationship with this guy. But the Jets are here. The Jets have no other choice. The Jets have now, they've painted themselves into this corner. They have to land Aaron Rodgers. They have to. Carr is gone. Garoppolo is gone. Mike White is gone. They have to. Or else it's an incredible implosion of expectations. So who knows where this carousel ends? If you ask me right now, gun to my head, what happens? I think he's a Jet. I don't think he's going to leave that much money on the table. I don't think he's going to walk away from the game. I think he thinks he can play. I think it's probably taking him a little bit of time to warm up to the idea of changing franchises and going to a team where there's been a lot of negativity around in a potentially negative town for a long time. I think that's a hesitancy for him, and I understand why. But I think ultimately he says yes. I think ultimately we see him in a Jets uniform coming up this season.